Good evening and welcome to Friday's Look North. Yorkshire pub owners say they're worried venues will close if a planned hike in business rates goes ahead in April. The government have revalued businesses and plan to bring taxes back to pre-pandemic levels. But pubs say they can't afford it alongside other tax hikes and their overheads. Business rates are a local tax on most non-domestic properties like shops, offices and pubs, similar to council tax. Some small businesses are exempt, but in the last financial year, £1.7 billion was collected from businesses across our region. In her November budget, the Chancellor and Leeds MP Rachel Reeves scaled back business rate discounts that have been in place since the pandemic from 75% to 40% and announced there would be no discount at all from April. Well, the government is expected to make an announcement in the coming days to soften the effect of these looming rate rises on pubs, but the uncertainty is making landlords nervous, as Olivia Richwald reports.
A pint in a pub, a cornerstone of British culture for generations, and that's why billions were poured into pubs and restaurants to help them survive the pandemic. But now business rates are due to increase significantly. At this pub in York, the rates are doubling to £18,000 a year.
The energy costs here are probably multiplied by at least 3 times. The employers' national insurance rates that we pay now, thresholds have dropped from where you pay it, and the rates increased. So it's like a twofold increase there. You take all of these things into account, including national living wage. Any margin that you thought we might have been given back has just been stripped away with that. So then putting business rates in the full amount that they are now on top has left us with next to no margin at all.
Following an outcry from the pub industry, the government has hinted it might soften its tax hikes. But with the new financial year just 2.5 months away, it is an anxious time.
I'm worried in the short term it's very uncertain because we've got no idea what's going to happen. So short-term uncertainty causes you medium and long-term problems.
The Bluebell in Arkindale is a rural pub with a thriving restaurant and hotel rooms. Owner Simon is facing a business rate hike of £110,000 across his 4 pubs in North Yorkshire.
That is on top of the £200,000 extra it cost us in national insurance hikes and minimum wage increases in the previous year. That hike alone is the reason why the pubs that are shutting every week right now, that's because of that extra cost to those people. If this cost comes on as well next year, then there's going to be a lot more people going to suffer as well.
The government has said it recognises the significant value that pubs bring to communities, and it will make an announcement in the next few days to soften the effect of business rate hikes on pubs. But what will that be, and will it be enough?
If this new reform does come into play, it's going to stop any growth and really change every aspect of what we've been doing. I have been very upset about it. In November, for the first few weeks, I was just physically get myself so upset about the whole situation because it's just completely unfair.
I think there's plenty of money in this country and they're not in the right place to ask for more from a very beaten up industry right now.
Olivia Richwald, BBC Look North, North Yorkshire.
Well, that's the view of some of the publicans in North Yorkshire, but what about the industry as a whole? Well, earlier I spoke to Greg Mulholland from the Campaign for Pubs and asked him what they were calling for.
Well, you've heard from those really powerful case studies just how disastrous this is for pubs. And what we're calling for is, first of all, for the government to scrap the revaluation that is coming in April, which is completely unfair and is putting pubs' business rates at a level that's not only unsustainable in April, but will go up year on year. And they need to keep the current level of business rates relief, only 40%, they need to keep that in place and deliver genuine reform from April next year. Because after all, in opposition, the Labour Party promised to scrap business rates and replace it with a fairer system. So we need that genuine reform and we need a much fairer system of business rates for pubs.
Now, the landlords in that piece were talking about thousands of pounds. Is that unusual or is that typical for everyone?
That's absolutely typical, and some of the increases are absolutely astronomical because of these huge increases in rateable values through this unfair and unjustifiable revaluation. At the same time, the government is wrongly taking away the relief, this 40% business rates relief that pubs are reliant on. So over the next 3 years, average pub business rates bills will go up by 70% on average, which is absolutely astronomical if action is not taken. So, you know, the government has said it's going to do a U-turn. That's very welcome, but we need to see the details of that U-turn.
Yeah, we don't have the details yet. Are you concerned that there could be more closures?
I'm afraid we're very concerned about that, and unless this whole system is changed, I'm afraid there will be more publicans that simply can't carry on, simply can't make ends meet. We've seen rises in national insurance, in minimum wage. The costs are just going up and up and up, and this business rates bombshell, which is what it is simply unsustainable. It will literally be impossible for many pubs with a good turnover, a good business, to make a profit.
But the discount has been in place since the pandemic. Some might argue it's time for a change.
Well, the reality is that this current cost of living crisis is at least as serious for pub businesses. Not only have we seen energy bills go through the roof after the last few years, all prices going up, the price of beer, the price of everything, all bills, but also consumers, customers, pub goers are feeling the pinch. All of us are feeling the pinch, and it's much harder to go out. So the footfall is lower. So that combination of things means that pubs need continued support. And if the government is serious about wanting to drive the economy, it needs to do it through local businesses, including pubs. And that means a fair tax system that reflects that important economic value to local economies and the national economy, as well as that important community and social function that pubs play.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see in the next few days. Greg, thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you.